Afternoon, everybody. Friday again. And we know what that is. It means that you're up for a challenge. And hopefully today we've got one that you're going to love. And as you can see in front of you, I thought I'd try the Christmas tiles, you know, these lovely traditional red and green. So yeah, I thought I'd swap it up a bit. And of course, to match, I'm going to use one of the dark red, the Brunswick fine liners. And look at this, a bright green gel pen. Now actually I've got that one and I've got this other green as well. It comes in the same pack with like, I don't know, maybe a sort of a brownie colour. So I'm going to use these today as well as that, just to sort of keep in with everything. Of course, I've got my pencil as normal and my tortillon, or I did have my tortillon. I mean, so there was a little spider wandering around just before we started and I think he's run off with it. So yeah, there we go. Got my tortillons and we'll just see how we go with that, shall we? Who knows? Oh, Julie, how you all? It's not too bad here. It's a little bit cooler today, but I just don't want to complain at all. So, yeah, 2 tiles. I've got a tiny one and I've got a regular one. Again, if you don't have a tiny tile, please don't worry about it. You can just sort of like carry on one tile and work it with that. But it's kind of nice, I think, just because you've started to use or you've got them in now. We need to start using them. You don't have to keep it in the middle if you don't want to. Today, I'm going to move it. I know, Pat. We're going to move it further down here. So I'm going to show you that you don't have to have it in the middle. You can put it wherever you like. You can have it slightly ski width. However, for this particular tile today, it's probably going to be better if we sort of do it this way and you keep it slightly straight around there. Okay, I'm going to come in with my gel pen because I do want a bit of a line around here. So I'm just going to draw around let's get that pen started. Come on, there we go. Now, as I was saying, if you don't have a tiny tile, please don't need to worry about that. You're just going to draw yourself a box. It's going to be squarish. And you're going to put it in this sort of corner. They're about 5 centimetres square, so that gives you an idea, but you don't need to panic about measuring. We never worry about that. Okay, so I'm just going to be careful about lifting that because, as we well know, using gel pens. There we go. There we go. All right, so next thing then. I'm going to use regular tile just to create a bit of a border around here, and I'm going to use this as a starting point to sort of get me going. You see there, I've got a little bit. It doesn't matter, I can sort that later. So I'm going to line my tile up with that there. There we go. And then just sort of, that's it, draw around the border. There we go. This green on this red's lovely. It's almost like a perfect match. There we go. And then same on this side. So we're just creating a border so that square shape now sits sort of on that border there. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's what we've got on our regular tile. So it looks a little bit like that. And that's all we need to do on that for now. I think we're not going to worry about that at all. I'm going to work straight now onto this little piece here, which is going to sit there when it's done. So if you're not going to use the 2 tiles, you're just going to stick with one, then you're just going to work directly into this square here. Okay? So moving that and bringing this one in. So let's have a look. I do want to have a little bit of a border around this, but just around 2 sides. So let's, again, I'm just going to line it up. There we are. And I'm going to go straight in with this pen. And I'm just going to draw my line there. And then there. Just be aware that if you're going to use the Brunswick fine liners, that they're not waterproof. There you go. Oh, hey, Garth. Hello, everybody. It's lovely to sort of see familiar faces or names and new ones too. There we go. So we've got that kind of thing going on. All right. I'm going to move that then. And I'm just going to work on this section here for now. So I'm just going to put my pen away because I want to come in with my pencil. Okay. See, as we've done so far, just drawn a few lines. It's not that bad. All right. So again, I think, yeah, I'm going to come in with that tile again. I want to make a couple of sort of lines on this one as well, but with pencil, which means we're not going to particularly see them a little bit later on. The two sides, actually, here, I'll show you that again, Viv. Sorry, the two, there you go. So you'd have a bit of a border, you see, between this one and this one. So your little border would be there. Okay, that's how that's going to sit in there afterwards. All right. Oh, happy birthday, Louise. We should have had cake. I keep saying that, don't I? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to split up my space a little bit. Well, let's say split up. I'm going to have 1 and 2 and then a slightly narrow one, I think. All right. So again, I'm just going to try and narrow that so I get a similar sort of size each side. There we go. And remember, do this lightly because you're not going to see these lines when you finish. They're just guidelines to get you going. Okay, and then see that one's slightly narrower. There we go. So we've got that one, okay? I'll just move that out a bit. So again, if you're working directly onto your larger tile, it's gonna look like that. Okay? Yeah, you have cake later and enjoy. Okay, so moving that one out of the way then, I'm just working on this one here. So it'd be in the corner of that tile. Oh, well, let's go a little bit larger. Are we ready? So because this is my green tile, I'm going to work in a red pen and I'm going to just sort of create a little square in that corner bit there. There we go. Okay. And then I might as well draw the rest of that line in pen. Because what I'm going to do, let's go for, I'm going to split it into half there. So see, it's about halfway there. And then let's do, let's go split again. And split again. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 that row. Okay. And then I'm going to come and add the pen onto this line as well. Turning it round. And then again in half. And then split that one. And split that one. Okay, so we've got that. So if I just split that triangle there, and then I'm going to create a little bit of a zigzag all the way down. There we go. And the same this side. So there we go. Actually, I'm going to do that one and that one because I've got that same sort of flow going. And then here and here. Okay, bit of a zigzag pattern going on there. So, turning my tile, just going to add a little bit of a curve to the edges. All right, same here. Just going to sort of work my way around. Turning it round. Another curve. There we go. Right, so far, it's not too bad at all, is it? We're just doing a few curves. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. There we go. There's something different, isn't there, about working with a colour pen rather than a black pen. Like we get so used to using the black. A colour one's a little bit scary because it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to add in a curve at either side of the line there. So on this one, just going to have one on the end. And then do the same all around. Now, I've not gone too sort of wide with these because I'm just keeping it, you know, just in line with what I've done already there. Oh, it's lovely to sort of see all these people coming in and saying hello, and it's like it's meeting with old friends, isn't it? Everybody's saying hello and hoping everybody's okay. It's lovely. There we are. And then I'm going to also do those curves along those lines as well. See? There we go. So every sort of line that I've drawn now, I've added a curve around it. So I've got this sort of almost petal-y kind of shape going on. You see? There we go. So weekend's coming up, lots of time for tangling. I'm going to try and get my board finished if I can this weekend. I'm also doing a course online as well, so I've got to get that up and running, I think, and sorted if I can. At least, I know you can sort of do it at your own leisure, but I need to get and move on and get it done. Okay, I'm just gonna, if you can, just gonna add a little line. You see on the edges there, and the inside. You don't have to. So if yours are very narrow and you can't get your pen in, it's not a problem. It just sort of adds a little bit more texture to it. Okay. Just gonna do. Oh, I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna do the outside ones. There we are. So just adding a little line in. Of course, I think this pen feels just a little bit thicker than a regular micron, so it's going to look a little bit different as well. I do have some 01 microns coming. But again, I'm pretty special with, pretty special, and I'm looking forward to receiving them. They're going to be a little bit different to what we normally see. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of lines in there. On that side, you see I started in the middle. And then I'm going to work around the top edge, starting in the middle, and one side, and then the next. Right, in the middle, one side, and then the next. These colours are certainly playing with my eyes, must admit. It's kind of nice, it's nice to do a clash now and again. And I want to sort of encourage you all to, step out your comfort zone a little bit and try something a little bit different with this one. I think what we did on Wednesday and the samples that have been posted that you've done are absolutely fabulous. And some of them don't look as though it's two tiles. It looks as though you've just used one. They're so good. So I thought we'd step it up a little bit and see where this leads. Okay, and the next one. All right, so again, starting in the middle, working one side and then the next. Okay, so this is what we've got then. That's that little design. So if I actually take it onto here, there we go, hang on a second. Oh, Jackie, don't you worry about the colours. You just follow the instructions. You follow the lines that I'm doing. And don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what colour, but that's how you should sort of have something going off there. Okay, I'm going to bring my pencil back in. Again, just going to carry on working with this one. There we go. And I'm just going to very gently put a little bit of a guide or a pencil line down the centre of this one. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then again, I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a guide here. I'm just going to split it here. So there we go, in half. Now this time I'm going to do, I'm going to do it there, and I'm going to split it again. You see? Split and again. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces there. Okay, and then Then next one, split in half, half again, half again. Same this side, half, half again, okay? All right, so back in with pen. And I'm going to sort of start this side here, and I'm just going to put in one of those little like leaf shapes, okay? Jane, they're about 5 centimetres, the smaller tiles. So you don't have to use a separate tile. You can just draw this all on one. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so you see I'm getting one of these in every other space. And one here. And again. And again. And again. Okay, looks like little stitches. Okay. I'm just going to go a bit larger now so you see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I'm just going to imagine sort of the middle, all right? And from the top here, I'm just going to bring in a bit of a curve. Okay, it's almost like it's coming in off the page and in. Now this time, and I just want you to watch this before you do it, I'm going to come out the bottom. I'm not going to go to this line. I'm going to come out the bottom, leave a bit of a gap on the bottom there, and then come through the middle, up to the top and into that next one, like a funny letter S. All right, let's do that again. So I'm coming down here, but I'm not going right to the bottom. I'm going to go up through the gap and into the next one. All right, down again, leaving a little bit at the bottom, up through the gap, into this one. And you see here, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, even though it's on a corner. So almost to the bottom there, coming round and in. Okay? So same again. I'm going to come down, not quite to the bottom, up through the gap and to that one. So again, as long as you remember just to leave that little space at the bottom there, we're going to need that in a minute. Okay, and up through the gap, and then just to finish it, up through the gap, and off we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beginning there, and I'm just going to aura the line. I'm going to follow what we've done before, see on this side, and this is why we've left that gap, is because I want to actually bring that round here and up into that one. And then the same again, which, as I said, wow, we've left that little gap in the bottom there. Okay. And then down again, using that gap we left, up and around. And then down and along. See, I'm just following that line that I did before. Here now, okay, you think, no, am I going to get through that? That's fine. Make it look like it is going underneath. And then just follow it round as before. And then the same again. See, once you've done that first line, this is just a case of following it round. Just taking your time. Have we actually, since Wednesday, taken a little bit more time over remembering to breathe? I know we mentioned it a couple of times, didn't we? And we're all guilty of it. We all get to the point you think, oh no, I've not done it. Don't forget to do that and just relax your hand. Remember on your pen. So you see here we've got this little gap that we had from before. So this time I'm going to create that little curve again, but it's going underneath the line, or mostly anyway. All right, let's do the next one. So it's going underneath. That's better. The same again, see, underneath. So this one, I'm going to keep it straight because the other one is there. So there we go, underneath. It is actually, yeah. I like how you do the the sort of the wavy bit and then bring this one in again. And it suddenly gives you that 3D because it goes underneath the last one. I like that bit. All right. Next one. Now, this time I'm going to have it sort of at this angle. I'm going to focus on this side. You see we've got these little gaps. So I'm going to come in and add that petal shape there. So I'm just going to put a line in the middle level. And then if you can, couple either side. See? And then same again. See, this one I'm going point to point. Put a little line in it. And then along there, and then a little one in there. And again, a little line, and in that one. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from doing this in different colours. You don't have to stick with the one colour outline. If you don't want to, you can mix and match, or you could do it all in black. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to do one in here, I think. There we go. Just to sort of keep the design going. And then this one. But you all know now that you can choose your colours, and you can do it in monochrome if you want to, or you can bling it up a little bit. It's entirely up to you. The one that I've done is my practice piece. I've done it slightly more subdued than this one. This is quite intense in terms of colour. All right, let's have a look at that, see where we're headed with it. Okay, so there's quite a bit going on there now. You see how we've filled that space. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to turn it round now. And again, you see we've got these little gaps here. Not many of them, but I'm going to fill them anyway. I'm going to just put, see if I can fit one in there. And then I'm going to get one there, look. See, I'm going to do that one there. Looks like it's sort of working its way around. So this gap's a little bit shorter than the other, so putting those two in. See here, I'm only going to get the one. Well, that's fine. Maybe I'll just get a little one there. Nothing in the middle there, of course. But then here, just angle it again. One there. And then there. And then one there. Line in. I love how when you start with the basic shapes, and really we've kept a very similar shape throughout, and it starts to recreate something quite beautiful in its own right, isn't it? Love that. Okay, let's have a look at how that should look something like on a larger tile. Here we go. So you've got that design. Okay, see how that sort of sits on there? So that's where it's going. Lorraine John is as well. He's colourblind. So when you living with somebody who likes colour, and you go, "What do you think?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine." He has no idea, bless him. Okay, so we've now got this row here, this thinner space, and I'm going to come on in. And I think actually before I do anything, I'm just going to draw in that border. Now you can come in with a straight edge and do it if you want to. It's entirely up to you. But I'm going to just come on in with my pen. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put a bubble in. There. Notice it's slightly oval, but that's because I'm wanting it to sort of hit top and bottom. And then same here. Don't try and get them all exactly the same. You just sort of want to make sure that they touch. And you see that I'm actually reinforcing them. I'm going over them twice. It's just going to sort of define them so we get the shape how we want it. Okay. All right. And then getting a little bit on the end there. All right. Same this side. Okay. See, just reinforcing it. And that one. Okay. So I'm going to just leave that for a minute now. I'm going to come and work on the larger tile. So let's have a look at that. There we go. So that would sit there like so. Look at that, it's nice. And I'm going to come in with the bright green. So I'm going to take that one off and work on this piece. And the first thing I'm going to do, just remember you're using a gel pen, that you need to sort of get it going. So you've got to maybe try it on a piece of scrap first, just to sort of start it off. And then just relax with it and let it do the work. It's going to flow. So you don't have to force it. If it's not working, just give it a little bit of a warm in your hands. And just sort of start it off, and then it should be good to go. Okay. And again, you can use a black pen on this, or you could have used a white pen, but I just figured that being that I was using a green tile and I'd got a gel pen that would go with it, it would work pretty well. Okay, so you see I'm just doing a row of bubbles, and I'm working it so I'm not putting my hand over it when I've done it, because I don't want anything to smudge them in any way. So not too big with these, just keep it nice and gentle. Work from corner to corner. Again, just sort of relax with it. Don't want to be holding it too tight. Just let it flow. Don't matter if they're different sizes. We just want a little bit of an edging. There we go, look. So that's going to sit there. So we've got a little bit of an edging around that there. Okay. All right. So again, where are we going to start? I'm going to start at this end and work this way. So if you're right-handed, it might be better to start here and work around that way, just so you don't smudge it if you're using a gel pen. So I'm going to come on in and I'm going to create a curve. All right, see, nice and slow with the gel. Around. It's almost like I'm coming back on myself. But then I'm going to create a little sort of bobble on the top. And then come back round. There we go. See, no rush to it. Down to the bubbles. Okay, I'm going to go a bit larger now. I'm going to do another one so you can see how I did it. Now this one, same thing, but I'm going to go the other way. It's a bit smaller than that one. All the way round. Till I'm almost coming back on myself. And then I'm going to create a bit of a bubble on the end. See, it's almost like a little round hook. And then back around. You see? Okay, so this one, don't feel apprehensive about going in and around the ones you've done before. Just let them go where they're going to go. You see this one, I'm going to go a bit larger, but it's going to sort of work its way inside that one. And then around. And if it gets a little bit thin, that's fine. But each time I'm sort of doing it, I'm trying to do them slightly different. Some are going to be taller, some are going to be a slightly bit thicker than the others. There we are. Just sort of keeping an eye and remembering which bit you're going to sort of cross over and things. There we go. See, it's nice how it's building. That one's going to go under there, look, round, back round. It's nice to be able to focus on it, just to keep it going and just sort of imagine where it's sort of going behind. And you're just going to focus on one at a time. You're not trying to get them the same. Yeah. And then I'm going to have a little one here. There we are. And in we go. Into this one. Now if you feel that you need to stop in between each one, so say you've got your curl, you think, oh, I need to stop. Just take a stop, look at what you're doing, and then come back and do it. You don't have to do it all in one massive swoop. You notice I've started to turn my tile as I've got to the corner. I'm not letting that corner faze me. I'm just working around it. I'm going to do a large one in there. There we go. Just keep it going. Follow it round. So we're not doing any definite stop and start at the corner. We're just going to continue with that design. There we are. Working my way round. I think this one, look, it's going to straighten up a little bit. Oh, see, my pen started to. There we go. Back it comes. Didn't quite match. Well, that's okay. In it goes again. And then I'm going to do a little one there. And back up. Alright, there we go. So let's have a look how this is sort of working. You see, it's coming out quite nicely there. But again, I say I don't want to keep them all the same, so I'm swapping and changing them. I've got left and right going on, but the sizes are different. And just kind of nice to work my way around it. And not worry about whether it's going to match or not. It's just each one is individual. Oh, Rose, honestly, don't worry about it. It's not going to be left like this. We're going to be adding a few bits to it, so it's all going to work in together. There we go. All right. So I'm going to come back to this side. And where I've got these gaps, I'm just going to aura inside them. You see? Aura, it's just draw around what you've got there. So if you've got a space that you can get one of those in, you see how it starts to fill in? And then just sort of work your way around, you see? You notice that I've turned my tile again because I don't want to be leaning on it because I'm using the pen. I just want to make sure that it's dry before I do anything like that. So just be aware of that. Gel pens are great and they work brilliantly, but we just don't want to be smudging it just yet. So again, space in there, because there's a little one, but it does the job. Just follow around the inside of that shape. See, that one there is probably too little. I'm not going to try that one. Certainly not with a gel pen. So just only if, only if you feel you can get a shape in there. And just take your time with it. There we are. See little bits. Something about the flow of a gel pen. Once you get it going, it's lovely. So, if you've got little bits before and you think, oh, it wasn't quite right, they sort of disappear now because they're all sort of becoming the same design or the same shape or part of the same story. Let's put one in here. There we go. And a little one in there. So look at that. All right, so we've got this lovely little design there. Now, I'm going to go back in. Oh, Christine, yes, it probably would. Do you know, I don't think it matters what colour you do this. I think it's going to look fab. I hope it will anyway. But I wanted just to change it up a bit and give you the option of seeing how it would look with a contrasting colour. You see here, I'm just going back in, and if I can fit a few bubbles in, I'm just filling it with a few bubbles. You don't have to, you could leave it, but I'm just filling that space. See, you can get a bit in there. Yeah, and I'll do a couple in there. There we go, just sort of enhances that a little bit. All right, so we've got that going. So continuing with this lovely little aura design then, I'm going to draw a bit of a line around here. I think I'm going to aura this particular section. Now, if you find that one of yours is really tall and it sort of comes almost to the top and you think, well, I can't get around that, sort of like, is this one going to do it? That's not a problem. You see, I'm going to sort of stop it there, and then I'm going to use that as the stop sort of section, same there, and then let's bring that line down. Now again, you could do this with a straight edge. Stop if you feel you need to, and pick it back up again. And then I'm going to start off again here. You see now this one, I'm going to stop it there because I don't want to go all the way around there. Once you put that in, it's going to neaten it up, see? And same, I'm going to get one here. Yeah, I'm going to go round there and stop it there. Alright, so you see how we're filling that space up, but we're not pressuring ourselves to make it the same or to change around, to try and squeeze anything in there. It's just about filling that little space in. And again, I'm just going to come on in and add in some bubbles. There we go. Again, you don't have to. You could leave it blank if you wanted, or you could fill it with stripes, or you could just colour it in. So your choice there. You can do what you like with it. Okay, so quite a large sort of space here, but of course it's no problem for this particular bubble type of design here. So, keep them different sizes. Don't try and make them the same. Don't be afraid to put any large ones in as well. And if you feel you're getting into a bit of a pattern, you don't want that, then start somewhere else. There we go, see? And then come back. You see, you can start if you want, you can fill random spaces in, and then you can add the rest around it. So what colours we're working with today then? Is anybody else doing red and green? Or red and black, red and white? There's a really dark red as well, isn't there? The Bordeaux. What about tangerine and grey? I do like that colour combination. What about the icy blue tile and a white tile? That'd be quite nice as well. Let's have a look at this then. So it's quite ornate. It almost looks a bit gold-like, doesn't it? But let's bring this one in and add that one there. See, it sort of gives it a slightly different colour sort of version. Dark pink and yellow. Do you know, I like orange and pink and yellow together. They work lovely. Okay. So, not so far off now. We've got to come back to this tile here and sort this bit out. I just wanted that to be done so it can be drying because, of course, we want to be shading it. Oh, blue and lilac. Lovely. So, okay, I'm going to come back in with my red pen now. But again, if you're using one tile, one colour, come in with your black. It's not a problem. Okay, so you see here, look, I can just add a little bit of red in there because I've got a bit of gel pen. There you are. So I'm going to add a bubble here. There we go. That's just sort of my starting point. And then I think if you feel you need to, come on in and just in pencil, draw yourself a line so you've got a bit of a guide. And I'm just going to mark either side of that, just a little bit, you see? Alright, so I'm just going to take that one away for a minute. And at the top here, I'm just going to add a line in. Oh, Viv, no, that's going to look beautiful. You might decide later you want to add a little bit of colour. You can just add a blob of glitter or a single colour in one of the bubbles. Okay, you really don't have to use colour if you don't want to. Okay, see either side now, I've got a line. Then again, I'm just going to bring it down and down, just towards that bubble at the bottom. And then further down again. And down. And again. And then one more, I think. And again. There we go. Okay. If you think you can get another one in, by all means, do another one. It's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to leave it at that one though. And again, I'm just going to put just a few lines. You see, just sort of along the bottom there. Just helps with the shadows. Okay. For the weekend looked at the craft room. Oh, don't we all do that? Okay, I'm just going to remove that line there because it's going to affect my shading. I don't want it to. And again, you see here where my line's a little bit darker than yours are going to be. I'm just going to get rid of them as well. Okay, all right. So back in with pencil now. And let's start with this little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that little sort of smirk. It's almost like a side smile to the bottom there. And then let's add some pencil on all of those. And the same with the top. There we go. Now I'm not being too heavy with this. I can always come back in and add an extra layer if I wanted to. But as I'm working on the coloured, it's quite a smooth finish. I don't want to sort of press on too hard because I want it to blend. There we go. See, I'm just doing a line either side of those there. See? Okay. And then, of course, same thing with these. A little bit of a smirk on the side there. There we go. Same here. So I'm keeping it to the same side. I'm not worried about which side it comes from or doesn't come from. Okay. And then this tangle here, we've not done this tangle before, but we're not going to shade it as a separate tangle. What we're going to do is just add some pencil to this side and the other side. But I'm going to do this one first. See, I'm going to press on a little bit down that bottom edge. So I want it kind of dark there, but ease off the pressure a bit as you move up. And the same here. So going quite dark, it'll take it. And then soften it up a little bit. And again, I can always go back in with a pen in a short while. Same on this one. It's going quite heavy. Lighten off a little bit. You notice I'm not going all the way to the middle, just on the edges. And then just ease off a little bit. So it's almost, I've shaded it to start with. And then same here, quite heavy. I'm not going to worry about the design underneath. It's just going to go straight over the design itself and just focus on it as a whole shape. And again, oh Bonnie. I must admit, you know, sometimes they do take a bit longer. It's because I've done it before and I've worked out how to do it in which order in order to get the most out of the time I've got with you. Okay. So then let's sort this one before we go on to the larger tile. I'm going to come in with my tortillon now, back to the beginning here. I'm just going to soften. Very, very little swirling motion. You see, just sort of soften that up a bit. And then the same here. So I'm just sort of pulling it up the shape a little bit, but not all the way up, so it goes all the way to the middle. You see how it sort of blended itself out? And then the same from the top. There we go, just to pull it down, but not all the way to the middle, because I want that little bit of white or highlight anyway in the middle there. It's green at the minute. There we go. Now if you feel that you can just sort of run up and down that shady bit there, but I'm not going to overdo it because I don't want to lose that little bit of a light there. And then onto here. Just adding that little bit of a softness there, you see? There we go. Just sort of softening. I'm not trying to fill the whole shape, I'm just doing a little bit. There we go. And then onto here, and again, just, you know, up and down. Don't put too much pressure on. We're just trying to sort of even that blend out, but not completely go into the middle. Oh, I know what you mean. You can file that off. Yeah. So hang on a second. Just give me 1 second. I do have a file here. I know exactly what you mean. Just a second. So here we go. So if you file, hang on a minute. I'm going to try and make it happen. Okay, you do. As you start to do it more and more, you will get a little bit on the end, you see, and it goes a little bit floppy. What you can do with that, you can keep filing it round, or you can take a pair of scissors and you can just trim it off so you get another point at the top. You see, it's starting, yeah, that's still going okay. It's not quite sort of small enough to do that yet, but yeah. Just use your file, and then if you get a bit of a little floppy bit on the top, just use a pair of scissors and snip it to a point. There you go. It's only paper, it won't damage them. Okay. So here we go. Where was I? There we are. Into the blending. All right. Yeah, good point, Nicola. Or you can do the same. I don't know if you're sort of out and about, you can't really carry a skewer. You can use a paper clip. You can keep a paper clip, open it up to like a longer stick kind of shape, and that'll do the job if you need it as well. Oh dear. There we go. Okay. Let's have a look at that. All right. So. Let's see where we're at with that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back in and I'm just going to add a little bit more to the top here now. You see, adding in that extra layer. There we go. Same this side. So I can afford to press on a bit now because there's graphite already on there that's been blended. So it does mean that that'll work in a little bit. You see how that works in a lot better? And then soften it off again. Okay. So sometimes it does take 1 or 2 layers, so don't be afraid to add that in if you need to. It's not a problem. And then again here, I'm just going to come back in with my pencil, and I just want a bit more darkness on those edges. Okay. Right. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with my white pencil and I'm just going to draw a line. See, I'm going for it today. I'm not being light with this. I'm pressing on. and then a little bit in the middle of each. Okay, a little bit there, and then of course, if you can, a little bit on each of those little bubbles there. There we go. So I'm just going to use my tortilla, and I'm actually just going to file it off again, just to get rid of the black. There we go. Right, because I'm just going to very gently just sort of soften that line. You see, just gentle zigzags. So I'm not trying to lose it, I'm just trying to sort of give it a little bit of a movement. So you've just got that shine on the top. It's not about trying to blend it, we just want to sort of push it into the paper a little bit. Okay. Alright. So again, same with this here, I'm just going to soften the edges off. So you see, I'm just sort of touching the edges just to give it a softer end rather than it'd be quite harsh there. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side for a minute. And I'm going to bring this one back in. Okay. Now there's two things we can do with this one. I don't know pencil line anymore. We can come in and we can use our regular pencil to create it, or you can go in with a white pencil if you want to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my regular pencil, but just make sure that it's, you know, your gel pen's dry underneath. And then same on this one. Now it's going to feel different because you're drawing on top of this gel pen and not a regular pen. It's sort of feels like it's sort of sitting over a surface, which of course it is. But just be aware that it's going to feel a bit different. Actually, I'm going to go all the way to there. There we go. And the same here. There we go. You see? And there we go. And again, with the tortillon, just going to soften it so it's no different than what we would usually do. It's just that you will feel a difference in application. But I'll do the same job as long as your gel pen's dry. There we go. Alright. Same on this side. Yeah, you could more in anything that's got a sharp point to it that you could, because the end, as we know, on a tortillon's open, so it allows you to do that. There we go. See, just work it around a bit more. Alright, and then back in with the white pencil. Straight down the middle there. Again, straight down the middle. And just very gently again. Just sort of little zigzags. So I'm just going to add a little bit more there. I feel like it went off a bit, didn't it? To next to nothing there. There we go. Same over here. Just give it a little bit of a zigzag. And then I'm going to just come in with my red pen here, and I'm just going to enhance that line inside. And it's just like what you would do with your black pen, you know, just to sort of redefine a few of those edges. Just want to bring it back a little bit. There we go. And the same just on the inside of there, where those bubbles are. So of course, if you're using a black pen, you do the same, but with your black pen. Okay. It's just giving it a little definition there. Okay, let's have a look at that. All right, I think that's white just needs a little bit more softening out. There we go. Same this side. See, sometimes you have to look at it, that you have to sort of step back and hold it at arm's length away from you and actually look at it, you know, because when you're on top of it and you see, you know, the same thing and it's really close to, you just want to make sure that you see things from a distance. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to come back in with, I'm going to come back in with my red pen and just colour in a few of those bubbles. Not all of them, you know, and I'm just going to sort of, I know there's that word again, pick them at random and add in just a little bit of a difference there. It's sort of like you're refocusing where some of the design features going to be. Okay, this is here, there, not too many there, is there? Look. Let's do that one. The trick is not to count them and then on purpose do one next to another, but then the next one you know you're not gonna. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the green one just for a minute. I'm just going to move that out of the way. I'm just going to come back to this one just for a minute, and I'm just going to come in with my green gel pen, because in between these little sort of bubbles here, I just want to add in a little green dot. See the difference that makes? It's just sort of adding a touch to it. There we go. Now of course I could come in with a red gel pen or something like that, or I could have used the darker green, but I just think that's going to highlight that a little bit and just bring it into its own. You see, it doesn't need much, does it? But the difference, just by adding that little bit there. Okay, that's nice. So I think as well, let's have a look. Do I have my, just look, yeah, I've got a clear glaze. Right, it's just a glaze. All this is like it's just a clear surface. It just sort of raises it like a gel pen, but it's clear, so you're gonna still see what's underneath. Let's just get it going. And I'm just gonna add a little bit onto there. Now you might not see that one. Hang on a second. See where it's a little bit wet? There you go. Just a little bit of glaze on. And I think I'm not going to touch that in terms of any more shadow. I'm just going to enhance that round the section there. And then let's just bring a little bit of that up, you know, just to redefine those edges. Let's have a look at the two together. Okay, we're ready for this. Okay, so there's a large tile. Now, of course, you've already seen it if you've done it on one tile. I'm going to be careful that I don't touch the gel. In a second. There we go. So it's a tiny tile and a full tile all together. Now, again, if you want to do it as one full tile, that's absolutely fine. It works both ways. But just showing you how, you know, using completely clashing colours, you can create something quite special. So I do have another one that I've done, and I used, I actually went for browns with a little bit of black in it. So pretty monochrome in a sense. But I say I went for the softer brown rather than the black. So there we go. Same thing, but you can see a completely different vibe already. And if I go ahead and just add in the little tile as well, there we go. You see that you're getting something completely similar but different. So yeah, I'm loving it. I like both of them. I like this one for it's class, it's very classy. But this one, I just love it. It's, you know, when you first think in green and red, you think, oh my goodness, it was a bit vivid and bright. But now we've added things to it and we've created something a little bit, you know, unusual again on it. I think I kind of like it. So I'm going to really look forward to looking at what colours you come up with, or if you've just done a monochrome, I'd absolutely love to see that too, because that's going to give this kind of effect, but a little bit stronger. So this one I did use a brown. It's the sepia micron pen. So it looks, I don't know if you'll notice the difference on camera. So there's the black and there's the sepia. Now you can't really tell much. It's definitely, I know Sanntangle prefer an actual brown, and that works just as well. So you can mix that with the black, but absolutely. It's, yeah, look at this. So, all right, I'm going to leave you with this one. I'm going to let you have a play with it and try it with a few colours. And that means 2 this week we've done with contrasting colours. It's just nice to sort of maybe mix and match the designs and see what you can come up with. Imagine this as a larger piece that you could extend, so maybe as 4 tiles, or maybe just extend onto your journal page, just this piece, and work it around. So many things you can do, so have fun with it. Just to let you know, tiles are now starting to come in for the tile swap. So please, if you've done yours, or if you're planning to do it this weekend, let's get that in so we can do the swaps there, and have a lovely weekend. That's all there's left to say. So don't forget to sign yours, of course. I've not signed mine yet. But yeah, go for it. Give it a go and let me see what you're doing. And all being well, I will see you again next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So until then, take care, have fun, and stay safe. And I'll see you soon. Okay, everybody.